Well, hello and welcome to the bedroom of the dollhouse for another reading from The Secret Language of Birthdays by Gary Goldschneider and Joost Elfers for September 20th, the day of the managers. And here at the top of the page is a visual representation of the day of the managers. We have us an illustration of, boom, a pipe. Very simple, very easy. I don't know if it's got any kind of special connotations with the day of the managers, but once we get in with the reading, maybe we'll find out. In any event, more importantly, is it September 20th and it's your birthday today? Well, if it is, I just want to extend you a heartfelt happy birthday. That's right, that's why we're here, to wish you a happy birthday. And if this video finds you a little late or long or shortly after your birthday has come and gone, well, I hope you had a happy birthday. That's right. But for everyone else who's just joining us here today, most ideally to celebrate the September 20th birthday, I just want to say hello and welcome and hope you enjoy yourself. All right, before we dive in with the birthday direct, real quick, let's roll some dice. That's right, this is the DykASSt ASStro birthday cast, so we like to live up to the namesake, and we do so by rolling some dice. And we do so, more importantly, for synchronicity's sake. Synchronicity's sake. And we rolled us a 5 and a 1 for a 6. That's right. So what is synchronicity, you may be wondering? Well, it's just you getting out into the world and letting the universe show you it's with you on your path. And you do that by focusing on these numbers and looking for them wherever you may go. And when you see them, you chase after them with some vigor and some zeal. It could just be something simple like the number 6 bus, which I like to always use as an example. And you jump on the bus and you ride it till maybe, I don't know, stop number 5, something that screams out to you. Or sometimes you notice somebody that just, they're the oddball on the bus, right? And they're screaming that they're standing out. Well, maybe you follow them off the bus. You know, a little bit of an intention there. Maybe you take your own dice, or you find out how long to ride the bus. Roll some dice there. Maybe you get off the bus on the number 5 stop, and you see the number 15 or 51 there in the address, going by the frame there. And you see it on an address on a building you've never been to, and you stop in because, hey, we're following the numbers, right? And what's it turn out to be? Well, maybe it's a smoke shop. Maybe they sell leaf tobacco and pipes. You know, maybe you're not a smoker, but you stop in and the person behind the counter asks if they can help you, and you just say, I'm just here for synchronicity's sake. They ask you what you're talking about. Maybe you show them this video, and you know what? There aren't a lot of smokers left anymore, so maybe they close up shop and they join you. That's right. And you just made yourself a friend, all right? Now, it doesn't have to be these big, grandiose things, but sometimes it's just little things lining up to show you that the universe is with you on your path. And if nothing else, you're getting out and you're getting your steps in. And that's nothing you can shake a stick at, so to speak. In any event, hey, let's dive in with your birthday, all right? I think you get what synchronicity is. Your month of September, your day is the 20th. Your sign is 26 to 28 degrees Virgo of the Virgo Libra cusp. It's the second day of the cusp, so we're right on to it. And your quality and element is mutable earth. All right, hey, September 20th, the day of the managers. Those born on September 20 are convinced of their ability to manage almost any situation. They are greatly concerned with the interests of their group and will go to any degree possible to ensure the harmonious running of the projects in which they are involved. And for some women, this can mean family dedication and home values. For others, the cohesiveness of their social or business organization. For men, it may mean the guidance of their family, which they like to think of more as companions than as subjects. And in their working life, the counsel which they can offer to business associates and friends. Both women and men born on this day know that running a tight ship financially can guarantee many benefits. And consequently, well, they tend to be adept not only at earning money, but at making good buys and shrewd investments, particularly when it comes to the beauty of their home, which they often prize above all else. When things go wrong, September 20 people have great faith in their capacity to repair or heal. Healing for them may mean anything from patching up quarrels to actually helping a loved one get well, using means ranging from prayer to traditional arts and massage. And in this respect, they must be careful not to go off the deep end and come to believe their powers are greater than they actually are, which can have dangerous consequences not only for themselves, but for those close to them. And September 20 people usually display sound judgment, but must always avoid being overconfident or blind concerning their ability to recognize the truth of any given situation. The crucial point is whether they are capable of acknowledging that they have made mistakes and, having done so, correcting their methods and points of view. And those September 20 people who can learn from their errors, often big ones, it says in parentheticals, and begin anew will grow enormously in stature. And those who can't are destined to encounter repeated difficulties, most of their own making. Unaware but as convinced as ever about the soundness of their judgment. One day even they will have to admit that they have been living a false existence, an illusion. And September 20 people often allow their emotions to run away with them, particularly when it comes to matters of love. Seized with a passion for another person, they can throw caution to the winds and ultimately cause great grief to all involved. If, however, they are able to exercise both patience and restraint, they are much more likely to be rewarded. The best mates for them are those who share similar interests, perhaps even the same field of endeavor. It is not at all uncommon for those born on this day to become working partners with their mates and to achieve success with them in business ventures, research projects, or artistic endeavors. Well, all right, how about that for a birthday breakdown? All right, hey, let's dive in with some notes. That's right, I like to provide a little bit of a commentary on the breakdown. Let's see what I had to say. All right, September 20, folks. Convinced of their ability to manage almost any situation. Interesting word there, convinced, but arguably one must have some capacity or they wouldn't have that as a belief, all right? But such a belief is apparently realized in the going to any lengths to ensure success of the endeavors they undertake. All right, with an eye toward financial responsibility as well, apparently. Then we turn to the word faith as it concerns rising above ill turns. All right, and I like that massage is mentioned as a means of helping a loved one get well in the midst of prayer and traditional arts, whatever traditional arts are. And I mean, sure, it's great for those tight muscles, but for illness, that seems a little bit interesting choice. But I mean, unless you're breaking up mucus and getting the lymphatic system to circulate, and no, you know what? I convinced myself. I think I can see it now. Perhaps it's not used enough in that respect. All right. But being careful not to go off the deep end with said so-called powers. I'm glad they mentioned this. It's kind of where my mind was going also as I read it. And all that to say, the reading claims a unusual display of sound judgment, but recommended avoiding overconfidence, all right? At least insofar as your powers are concerned. So it would seem there's an alluded to metaphysical bend to some of the approaches here, at least by my mind. But then they kind of bring it back down to earth, if you like, by mentioning that you learn from your errors, all right? And you acknowledge your mistakes and start again, all right? With revised points of view, as he said. So the corporeal or the metaphysical, it doesn't say in those regards, but we can assume, can't we? Especially if emotions are often allowed to run away with matters of love or otherwise. All right, but reward often follows restraint, so be mindful of that, all right? That's what I'd say about your birthday breakdown. All right, so let's move on to your numbers and your planets. Okay, your numbers and your planets. Those born on the 20th of the month are ruled by the number 2, as 2 plus 0 equals 2, and by the moon. See, number 2 people are usually gentle and imaginative and easily hurt by criticism or intention of others. And those ruled by the number 2 are impressionable and emotional. But since September 20 people are Virgos, ruled by Mercury, they can occasionally place too much faith in their mental powers. The Virgo Libra cusp, however, carries strong social and love influences, since approaching Libra is ruled by Venus. And thus, an overly mental orientation is not in itself a sufficient expression of a September 20 character. All right. Hey, they personalized that number and planet pretty, I would say, quite a bit. I can't think of how else to put it. But let's see what I had to say about your numbers and your planets. The number 2 and the moon for a passive coworker over leadership kind of energy. Now, they didn't mention as much, but whenever we have touched on a moon rulership, they mention that. But perhaps it's on account of this Virgo Mercury rulership with its mental quickness, and the Cusp Libra Venus rulership with its social love influences. Maybe they're not saying that applies. I don't know, because they didn't mention it. Maybe something to be mindful of. A lot of times they say the moon is a passive influence, and so they make better coworkers than they do leaders. But what else we got here? It's also interesting that the title of the day is the Day of the Managers. So maybe that leadership thing doesn't apply. Who's to say? But maybe they wanted to switch up the copy too. Switch it up for a change and dive in with a little bit more of that love, social, and emotional facets, seeming well within the bounds of previous moon descriptions, despite the Day of the Managers, as I said. Because it lends to the idea that there's a strong leadership rulership there, or you've got the energies for leadership. I think you get the point. In any event, that's been your numbers and your planets, so let's dive in with your tarot. That's right, your tarot, one of the more eclectic of the metaphysical ideologies, new agey in a way, in my mind, in any event. But hey, it's in the book, it's fun, it's free, we don't have to buy into any of it. But it's here. Let's see what it has to say. And let's entertain something. It might be fun. Let's see. The 20th card of the Major Arcana is the Judgment or Awakening, which urges leaving material aspects behind and seeking higher spirituality. And the message may symbolize a challenge to September 20 people to look beyond sensuous beauty and material comfort. And the card shows an angel blowing a trumpet, a fanfare that perhaps calls us to greater purpose. It is a reminder of finality in our need for preparedness, signifying not only that a new day is dawning, but also that there will one day be a reckoning. That's right. And the warning expressed by this card, particularly true for September 20 people, it says, is against overconfidence and becoming excitedly unrealistic. Ooh, all right. The tarot isn't often personalized, but they kind of did that here for you. All right, hey, what I have to say about your tarot. Judgment or Awakening, which urges leaving the material behind and reaching for higher spirituality. All right. Seemingly hinted at in the breakdown. All right. And the angel's call to higher purpose and a warning of preparedness, which it seems you have built-in capacity for, as mentioned also in the breakdown. And it warns of overconfidence and decided unrealism, also mentioned in the breakdown. So it would seem the breakdown borrowed somewhat heavily from the tarot. Who's to say? Sometimes they do that. I think they did that the past couple days too. So anyway, maybe be mindful of it. So that's been your tarot. Let's dive in with your health. All right, those born on September 20 are generally aware not only of the physical condition of their bodies, but also of their relative beauty. Consequently, those born on this day need not be reminded of the importance of physical exercise and diet in maintaining their health and good looks. They must, however, beware of focusing excessively on the outward goal of an attractive exterior. They may even at times compromise their health in this respect, going overboard on fad diets and vigorous but also dangerous forms of over exercise. And those born on this day must beware of all affective ailments, particularly those involving hormone imbalances. All right. Hey, I think the hormone one is a new one. Anything. Hey, what do I have to say about your health? Aware of your physical condition and beauty, so no need for reminders pertaining to the maintenance of as much. But vanity associated with its concern is warned against, apparently, all right? And or the overexertion associated with accomplishing as much. Overindulgence, even in seemingly beneficial actions, being perhaps detrimental. All right. Hey, moderation is the key idea, as with anything. I don't think we really talked about moderation here today, because some of these other birthdays it definitely needed to be drilled down upon. But in any event, hey, maybe just take some of that and be mindful of it, because they don't always mention a lot of this stuff. Sometimes it comes with the exercise. They say some people don't need it. Other times they say they really need to focus on it. Sometimes they say they don't need to be weary of their diet. Other times they do. So who's to say? Maybe be mindful. All right. Hey, let's dive in with some advice. All right. Learn from your own mistakes. Examine results and take stock of your methods. Either they work or they don't. And do not hesitate to change course if necessary. And keep your emotions a bit more guarded and learn the value of patience. All right. Hey, what I say about your advice? Let's get back to the notes here. It was pretty quick in and out with the advice, but that doesn't mean it didn't have any value. Learn from your mistakes, as mentioned earlier, and the value of patience and tempering the emotions. Hey, that's always going to do you well. Patience is a virtue for sure, but it's not the easiest thing to acquire, if you like, and or practice. Once again, they just drill down on a lot of the stuff they've said previously. I don't know if it's lazy writing. I won't say that, but I've been accused of lazy writing in the past, so I don't want to belabor it with these guys. But you know what? Good points. They're all good points. So, and they did personalize a lot of this for you. So even if they did get lazy, they picked it up elsewhere. In any event, let's move on to your meditation. And let's just take the energy down a hair so we can get into it. Are you ready for your meditation here? Observe yourself living. Once again, observe yourself living. I thought yesterday's was the easiest one, the most concise that they've had. Today gives it not necessarily a run for its money, but it's close to it. All right, observe yourself living. I'm not going to break that down for you further. You don't need my spin on it affecting you. That's your meditation, your birthday, so I'll leave you with that. But now we're going to move on into your strengths and your weaknesses. All right, let's see what we got here, as if we didn't already know. All right. Your strengths. You're organized, you're shrewd, and you're observant. All right. Some people look at shrewd as a negative, but not necessarily so. All right. Your weaknesses. Are you ready? Hold your breath. Here we go. Overconfident, you're over-emotional, and you're inflated. Inflated? Is that an ego thing? Who's to say? I don't know. Overconfidence and over-emotional and inflated. Well, you know what? All those things are things you can improve upon with your advice. That's right. Be patient and temper your overexertions. What was the other one? Be the change and learn from your mistakes. Okay, in the event. That's been your strengths and weaknesses. Let's move on to those born on this day. And as we get into this, something I like to bring up that I think is important, and that is striving for your passions and finding your place in this world. I think this provides the perfect opportunity not only to find out who shares your company, but what they did and how they got into the cultural zeitgeist, if you like. Because I get out into the world and I meet folks and I ask them what they do and if they like it. And a lot of times they don't like it. And so I think it provides a perfect opportunity for us to maybe take inspiration. And if we don't have our own passions, maybe to figure out something that we can drill down on. That's right, because we get into this world and we just don't have the time to put in the work to figure those things out. At least a lot of us don't, from my experience. So maybe we can find some inspiration. Anyway, you get the point. Let's dive in with those born on this day. We have Red Auerbach, the Boston Celtics basketball coach, general manager, president, and the winningest coach in the NBA's history. And he took Celtics to 9 NBA titles. We also have Sophia Loren, the Italian film actress, Sister Elizabeth Kenny, the Australian-born nursing pioneer, and it says polio treatment. No real context other than that. Moving on, we have Upton St. Clair, the social activist and novelist of the jungle. Guy Lafleur was a Canadian hockey right wing, 3-time NHL scoring leader, and a 2-time MVP, and he played for 5 Stanley Cup winning Montreal teams. We have, I'm going to butcher this one, Kula Longhorn, maybe not, Siamese 19th century king, and is responsible for Anna and the King of Siam. We also have Ananda Mahayadal, a Thai 20th century king. We also have Joyce Brothers, PhD psychologist, TV host, Takamitsu Azuma, Japanese architect, philosophy of living in the city. And we also have James Galanos, a fashion designer, Fernando Rey, Spanish film actor, Stevie Smith, British woman novelist and a poet, Charlie Drezen, a Brooklyn Dodgers baseball manager and 2 National League pennants, Vittore Taviani, Italian film director of Padre Padrone. Ding Guanzun was a Chinese bishop and theologian. We have Donald Hall, the poet of the One Day Anthologist, or of the One Day, and was an anthologist. John Dankworth, British jazz musician. Richard McDermott, U.S. Olympic gold medal winning a speed skater. Alana Curry, a punk singer and keyboardist. And Sir George Robey, a British music hall comedian. And Nuno Betancourt of Extreme fame. Yeah, he had the shred guitar. I added that one in there because I'm a fan. That's right. Nuno Betancourt for September 20th. All right, and that has been those born on this day. I hope you found someone you could take some inspiration from if and you're struggling to figure out your own passions. I know it probably didn't help, but hey, that's the goal there. See who shares your company. That's right. Okay, and that basically rounds out your birthday, except to say your season is summer and your sign once again is Virgo of the Virgo Libra cusp, and your quality and elements is mutable earth. That's right. And this has been September 20th, the Day of the Managers, from The Secret Language of Birthdays by Gary Goldschneider and Joost Elfers. I have an affiliate link for this book down in the description if you're interested in picking up a copy and diving in for yourself, or if you like to have company over and host you some parties. This makes the perfect coffee table book to get the literal ice broken, considering how big it is. It's going to get the conversation started, for better or for worse, but it's going to get it flowing. That's right. In any event, hey, what's more important here is it's your birthday, so let's just wish you a happy birthday once again. That's right. And if this finds you late, like I said at the top, hope you had a happy birthday. All right, for everyone else who joined us to celebrate September 20, hey, I hope you enjoyed it, found it interesting, and you join us for your birthday. And lest we forget, your daily numbers. That's right, a 5 and a 1 for 6. Get out there and let the universe show you it's with you on your path. All right, once again, happy birthday. Take care of yourself.